Today, we're going to go on a fantastic voyage deep inside the human body. Our destination? It's the bustling, vital network that keeps every single one of us alive. Blood, the true river of life.
Seriously, have you ever imagined shrinking down, like impossibly small, for a tour of your own circulatory system? What would you actually see? Who or, I guess what, would you meet along the way? Well, that's the journey we're taking right now. So let's start with just the sheer scale of this internal world.
So, the average adult is walking around with about 5.5 liters of this incredible fluid. You got to think of it as the ultimate delivery service. It's a biological superhighway, carrying everything from oxygen and food to waste products and urgent messages.
Okay, so what exactly is this internal superhighway made of? I mean, a river of life is this really complex fluid, but it's actually just two main parts working together.
It breaks down like this. About 55% of your blood is a liquid called plasma. The other 45%, that's made up of all the different types of cells, or corpuscles that are just floating around in it. So let's start with the liquid part, the plasma. Plasma is this yellowish fluid, and it's mostly water. We're talking 90%. But that other 10%? Whoa, that's where the magic is. It's this powerful mix of dissolved nutrients from your last meal, hormones that act like little chemical messengers, and vital proteins, like the antibodies that form your immune system's first line of defense.
All right, now for that other 45%. It's time to meet the tireless, and I mean tireless, workers of your circulatory system, the actual cells that are traveling this river of life.
And you've basically got three main players here. You've got your red blood cells, the bigger white blood cells, and these tiny little things called platelets. They all travel together, sure, but each one has a totally different and absolutely critical job to do.
First up, the most common cells by far, the red blood cells, or RBCs. The best way to think of them is as millions of tiny oxygen taxis. They're these little disc-shaped things, and what's really interesting is that they actually get rid of their nucleus when they mature just to make more room. Their red color? That comes from a compound called hemoglobin, and that's the key to their whole job, grabbing onto oxygen and carrying it all over your body.
Now, these hardworking little taxis don't last forever. On average, a red blood cell makes its rounds for about 120 days. Then it's retired, broken down, and replaced. It's just a perfect example of how your body is in this constant state of renewal.
And the sheer scale of this renewal is, well, it's staggering. Get this, according to our source material, more than 2 million red blood cells get destroyed every second, but they're replaced immediately by new ones. Just think about that. That mind-boggling level of activity is happening inside you right now.
Next up are the system security guards, the white blood cells, or WBCs. They're a lot bigger than red blood cells, and they have a distinct nucleus. Their main mission? To protect us. They are the body's soldiers, hunting down and destroying germs and other invaders to give us immunity. And finally, we have the platelets, the emergency repair crew. When you get a cut, these guys trigger this incredible, super fast chain reaction. First, the damaged blood vessel releases an enzyme. This enzyme helps make a protein called thrombin. Thrombin then acts on another protein, turning it into something called fibrin. And it's this fibrin that creates a sticky mesh, trapping other cells to form a solid clot and seal the wound. Amazing, right? So we've met all the travelers. Now let's explore the roads they use. Welcome to the body's superhighway, the vast, vast network of blood vessels that has to reach every single cell you have.
And this superhighway has three main types of roads. You've got your large, powerful arteries, the wider, returning veins, and then these incredibly tiny capillaries that act like the local side streets connecting everything together.
So what's the big difference? Well, arteries have these thick, muscular walls because they have to carry blood away from the heart under high pressure. They're the major freeways. Veins, on the other hand, carry blood back to the heart. Their walls are much thinner because the pressure is way lower, and they act as the return routes.
And what's powering this entire massive network? The heart, of course. It's this relentless muscular organ with 4 chambers, the 2 upper auricles and the 2 lower ventricles. It's the system's central pump, and it just keeps beating nonstop for our entire lives.
The heart's 4-chambered design makes a really clever system possible, called double circulation. Now, this means blood actually passes through the heart twice for each full trip around the body. The first loop sends blood to the lungs just to pick up oxygen. Then, the second loop pumps that fresh, oxygen-rich blood out to everywhere else. It is a remarkably efficient system.
So that's the system. But here's the thing. Not all blood is the same. Now we're going to get a little personal and look at your blood's unique ID card, its type. So what determines your blood type anyway? Well, it all comes down to these specific proteins on the surface of your red blood cells, called antigens. The two main ones are the A antigen and the B antigen. And whether you have A, B, both, or neither of them, well, that determines your blood group in what we call the ABO system.
And this whole antigen system is what creates those special rules you hear about in blood transfusions. See, because Group O blood has no surface antigens to trigger an immune response, it can be safely given to pretty much anyone. And that makes these people universal donors. Now, on the flip side, Group AB has both A and B antigens, so its immune system recognizes everything. They can receive blood from any group, making them universal recipients.
This right here is why matching blood types is a matter of life and death. If you give a person with type B blood a transfusion of type A, their body is going to see those A antigens as foreign invaders and launch a massive, really dangerous immune attack. For a transfusion to be safe, the recipient's body can't have antibodies that will attack the donor's blood cells. Compatibility is absolutely everything.
So, after all that, how can we check in on this incredible engine? Let's talk about some of the simple ways our bodies signal how well this whole system is running.
One of the easiest ways is to just check your pulse. That throbbing you can feel in your wrist or neck, that's the wave of pressure in your arteries each and every time the heart pumps. For a healthy adult who's just chillin', the average is about 72 beats per minute. But after some exercise, it can easily jump up to 120 or even more as the heart races to get oxygen to your muscles.
When you really think about it, the river of life inside you is always in motion. It's transporting, defending, and repairing every single second of every single day, and you don't even have to think about it. So we'll just leave you with this question. What story is your blood telling you?